Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It is Monday morning here and we're gonna start off the week by talking about a much requested topic, and that is dopamine. It's such a buzzword, and in this video we're gonna talk about how we can actually use it to our advantage to do more of those feel-good behaviors that we know are helpful for us, but that can kind of feel hard to actually get ourselves to do. And because of that, we tend to lean on more unhelpful behaviors like endless snacking or doom scrolling that just kind of leave us feeling worse, you know? So first off, a couple of things. If you are new here, hello, my name is Colleen. I am a non-diet registered dietitian here to help you learn how to and show you what it looks like to live a non-diet life, one that is balanced and feels good. If that sounds like it's up your alley, be sure to hit subscribe to the channel and welcome to the fam. Secondly, what the heck is dopamine? Don't feel like you have to go grab a notebook. I did make a free download for you that's going to give you more information and do what I call dopamine dosing, which is what I'm going to show you in this video. So dopamine, you've probably heard it before. Like I said, it feels like it's all over social media. It is a brain chemical that plays a huge role in motivation, reward, and helping us feel good. That pleasure. It's what helps make us feel good when we do something that is enjoyable, whether it's petting a dog, walking outside, eating a delicious snack, crossing something off of our to-do list, enjoying a warm, delicious cup of coffee. You get the picture. And here's the thing, in today's fast-paced world, we are surrounded by dopamine hits, typically high stimulation dopamine hits. Social media, work stress, delicious snacks, you name it. And it's so easy to get caught up in that instant gratification. But overloading on those high stimulus dopamine items can actually leave us feeling more drained, unbalanced, and burnt out, which negatively impacts everything from our mood to our behaviors to the way that we care for ourselves, our health and well-being. So like I said, in this video, I'm gonna show you how I intentionally add dopamine hits, specifically all three types, the high, the low, the medium, which we'll go over, to actually help me stay grounded and energized. It keeps my body and my brain's need and desire for that dopamine met throughout the day. So I don't feel as much of a need and pull to go towards those less than helpful on the regular behaviors. And by adding these intentional dopamine hits, which again, I'll show you how to do, we can actually positively impact our self-care behaviors. Dopamine's not bad, and even those behaviors aren't necessarily bad. Our brains need and want a little bit of that reward and stimulation to stay regulated and motivated. And if we don't give it the intentional dopamine throughout the day, that desire is just gonna build up like water against a dam until it becomes 9 o'clock and we're either in the pantry, elbow deep in the box of cookies, or scrolling TikTok for what feels like 20 minutes but is actually hours on it. Planned dopamine helps balance energy, mood, and focus, especially if you front load your day, which is what we're gonna start with. Friends, happy Tuesday today. I was getting ready and I decided to I got this hat from Alani, and it just makes me smile. Like, it's just so fun. And I was like, let's start that with a little bit of a dopamine boost for our little day of dopamine here. I thought it was very fitting, but I almost didn't wear it because, does it bother you guys when I wear hats in videos? This is something that stuck with me from growing up. I was a lifeguard and a swim lesson instructor, and they always said, like, when you're talking to someone or you're teaching or you're trying to connect with someone, like, don't wear a hat or sunglasses. We could never wear those. And that's just something that always sticks with me. So let me know in the comments. Does it bother you when I wear a hat or not? But I figured, in the interest of this video, it gave me a dopamine boost, so I wore it. Okay, so we are going to start our morning today. One of the first things that you can do to dose dopamine throughout your day is to front load your day with dopamine. So here's how I'm doing that. Ideally, you want to add low or medium activity dopamine doses to your morning to set the tone for the day. So here's what those are. A low activity dopamine is something that's a little bit more calming, a little bit more grounding. It's more smaller doses of pleasure without kind of that overstimulation. Often more restful or soothing. They can be sensory based, like drinking a warm beverage, using a yummy scented lotion. You could go for a leisurely walk, snuggling under a blanket. And these are really important, especially in the morning, because what they can do is to regulate your nervous system, reduce stress, and prevent burnout by offering moments of comfort and calm. Very important for the morning. Then the medium type is smaller, more moderate levels of stimulation and satisfaction. They're enjoyable and you feel it more so in the moment, but it's not necessarily like an intense rush. Now, this could be listening to music or chatting with a friend, doing some journaling. It's a little more active, and these help keep your motivation and energy steady and stable throughout the day. They're like mini rewards that support focus and progress. So here is how we're doing all that this morning. Fun dishware. Now, this would be like low to medium. It does have a little bit of that kind of like instant gratification, but especially when you pair it with like a warm beverage, like I have my fun mug here, it's just a little bit of a kind of a sprinkling of a little bit of fun and novelty, but it's not necessarily like dramatic or intense. I also used a wax melt. I've talked about these before. I try to put one in our little wax melt warmer every morning, and today I went with the salted caramel butterscotch. Get these from Walmart, Aldi, Target. They all have good ones, except the cinnamon roll one. I didn't really notice like a super strong smell with it, but my husband likes, in true Colleen fashion, I like the baked good ones. My husband tends to like these ones, so we compromise and we bounce back and forth. That is more of a low level dopamine dose because it's very sensory focused. It's something that's going to be a little bit more long term. It takes a little bit to kind of get the scent going. It's not necessarily like a boom like hit, kind of just like creating the vibe for the day, if you will. So we did that, and then now I always start my day with a little bit of journaling. So what we're going to do today, these are my usual staples for the morning. I do quote of the day and I do a body image exercise. I love my quote of the day. It is one of the lowest lift things that you can do to really change your mindset for the day and give you that boost of dopamine. It's so easy, but my gosh, it's so impactful. So I'm gonna come to quote of the day here, and it says, "Change is not made without inconvenience." Richard Hooker. Love that. So I come in and I'll, depending on the day, I'll just write a little bit of a note, a little bit of a reflection on it. And this is a small but super meaningful dose of kind of more of that, like, again, low to medium level dopamine hit. It has a substantial effect on your attitude and energy. So change is not made without inconvenience. I think this goes a lot to like, sometimes we need to get outside of our comfort zone to change or better ourselves. Now, I think that like this is important too. Like, it's not like do all the hard things. I think there's a balance between this. I'm gonna say there is a balance. I should just reflect and then talk to you guys. But I think that having sort of a like guiding question of, is this helping me become better in terms of my mental, physical, my total well-being? Because I feel like, especially with like diet culture, it can get so like, you could take this and be like, well, you gotta just like buck up and do it, do your meal prep, do your workouts, and then it can become very militant. I think there's a balance with it, and asking yourselves, is the overall picture of this benefiting me and what feels good to me? If we're just being militant and doing things because we think we should, it's probably not going to be to our benefit. Okay, so we have that. See, super, super great. Made self-care a priority, feeling happy and positive. We'll reflect on that. And then we come and do the same thing with a body image exercise. It always just has a way of giving me what I need. Your body's voice. Is your if your body had a voice, what would it say right now? Listen in. Is it tired, content, needing something? Reflect on what your body might want you to hear, tuning into how it feels, not how it looks. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I got a little bit of a tummy ache right now, feeling a little bit backed up. This is what you get with this channel, guys. I'm always gonna show you what it looks like to actually live this stuff out. But I think that like, knowing that, I think my body, what it would need would be like, hey, let's get some hydration going. I have my water bottle here, which is also one of my goals for the day, is I want to drink 2 of those. I drink other liquids, but I struggle with just like flat water, so I have some flavorings in there. It would tell me to hydrate for the day and maybe get some gentle movement, which we have planned for the day, to just kind of help move things along a little bit. Maybe get a little bit of fiber in there, but yeah. That's what my body would telling me right now. So I just love that. And the goal of this exercise is we focus so much on what our bodies look like that we rarely take a time to like, okay, just assess like how am I actually feeling and what would benefit me from a place of kindness versus like controlling our bodies. So love that so much. And that's why I love these specific. You can do any sort of journaling you like. I know some people like the bullet journals. I like this because it's a little bit of variety. Actually, it's a lot bit of variety because some days I'm going to get something that says like reflect on, you know, the messages you were taught growing up. Sometimes it's going to be tuning into your body. I journal 2 more times during the day. I'll show you those later, but very same thing, just checking in with yourself. So we have our journaling done. So we kind of front loaded our day with dopamine. The last thing you can do to front load it is to, yes, give some of those like high dopamine hits because I'm about to start the workday. I've been loving doing this, doing some sort of like a little bit of like a high dopamine hit before I get into work. Just kind of takes me from kind of that calm state. Okay, we've kind of like reset our nervous system. Now let's kind of get the ball rolling here. So what I like to do is checking off tasks. Oh my gosh, it is such a dopamine hit. So I took my meds this morning. I'm gonna check that off. Also, I got that high dopamine hit when I completed my self-care, my journaling that I did, my daily habit stack. So checked that off my list, and then I get to see my cups change, another dopamine hit there. This is how I do all of my like self-care tasks, and then I also get dopamine hits as I kind of start the workday. I like to just start with just a couple like easy tasks that I can do to check off to again kind of like get the ball rolling, and that's really, like I said, strategically placing those when you feel like you're in a rut or you need a boost of creativity. I also do one after lunch, which I'll show you right before I go back to work. And it just kind of gets me out of, if you tend to procrastinate a snack, then that would be really helpful for you. Just a little bit of a boom, high dopamine hit in the direction of where you want to go. So like work. So I'm just gonna check a couple of those things off. I do like a combination. All of my self-care is with the app and journaling and all of that. But then work-wise for checking off tasks, I use Asana, but I do double duty. So I like will take my Asana tasks for the day and put them in my physical planner, and then I kind of like do double duty. It's just really helpful for me to kind of like really focus in on those tasks for that day once I take it from Asana and put it in my physical planner. So that is our morning, friends. I hope this wasn't too long or boring for you, but pretty quick, easy. I don't have a super elaborate morning routine or anything like that, but that's the morning. And then I'll check back in with you later for some other doses of dopamine that we're gonna add throughout the day. Okay, for breakfast this week, I actually meal prepped some pizza omelette. So I'm gonna throw this in the air fryer we have over there. Let me show you before it goes in. Pizza omelets. Just gonna put this right in there. Wait for that to preheat, but that's what I'm gonna do. Fast forward, she is looking nice and crispy. Don't burn yourself, Colleen. I have a very bad habit of always burning myself. Also in true form, we're gonna eat off of a fun plate. So I kind of just like slice this up like a quesadilla, and then I am going to add this. It's just kind of like for dipping. I'm usually a sweet breakfast kind of girly, but I'm not gonna lie, I had this yesterday too. It's Tuesday. Like I said, I meal prepped a bunch of them, and I really, really loved it. Another reason why I wanted to wear this hat was because it is very sunny out today. And we love it. It's almost like too sunny to walk with you. Sorry, it's so bright, but one of the things I do throughout the day, so we dopamine load the front of our day, and then we sprinkle a little bit of like dopamine snacks throughout the day. So I am going on a little bit of a lunchtime walk right now. I try to do this most days, and I just love trying to get outside. My office is in my basement, so just being able to get outside and get some fresh air is huge. The sunshine, and it's a little bit more of that. I've worked all morning. It's a little more of that rejuvenative kind of like lower dopamine hit that is just going to be super beneficial to kind of like allow myself to kind of like reset my nervous system, decompress through the day. So that is what we're doing right now. Then a couple other dopamine things that I sprinkle throughout the day are like kind of what you saw with breakfast, is like changing up my meals, new meals. I have actually a new recipe that I'm making for lunch that I'll show you after this. It just provides a little bit of extra novelty. It can provide some sensory satisfaction, and it can give you that feeling of something exciting and new. I also am going to check off some of my self-care tasks. So then I'll show you what I do after lunch to get myself motivated to get back into it after my more rejuvenative tasks. Lunchy time. Allow me to introduce you to, this is the strawberry poppy seed chicken salad. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is so good. I know it sounds like kind of a strange chicken salad, but it is so good. The strawberries are delicious. I got these from Sam's Club. They are like the perfect, we've been eating them. This is also today not a full day of eating, by the way. I've definitely been snacking and had some other stuff, but these strawberries, I've had some today. They are like that, like perfect. Oh, they're just gorgeous and delicious. But we're going to have our lunch here. I have one little pita that I need to use, put some lettuce in there and get her going. I might go sit outside. It just looks so nice out, our backyard. Our backyard fence is falling, but we might sit outside. I also really like to go for a walk before lunch because I just feel like it helps me honestly enjoy my lunch a little bit more and be a little bit more mindful when I'm not like coming off of kind of like work mode and just kind of, you know, still a little bit frazzled or just kind of overstimulated and whatnot. So that walk just really kind of helps me just decompress a little bit so lunch is a bit more enjoyable and mindful. Just my preference. After work too, there's no bad time to get outside. Okay, one more thing. I got these, this is just turning into a drink review channel. I got these half-day iced teas. They are like a pre/probiotic soda. What are they? Actually, let me see. Prebiotics. So, I don't know, just a fun way to get some water in you. These are, I believe, not carbonated. Prebiotics, they can be great for your gut health. They can give some fiber. Non-carbonated, yeah, non-carbonated. Okay, let's give it a go. This is the peach tea flavor. That's really good. That's really refreshing. It's a nice light flavor. I actually like that it's not carbonated. That's really good. Okay, let's go outside. Okay, I actually found myself scrolling and I was like, I think this is the perfect time. So we finished our lunch and this is that period of transition that I was talking about earlier, that giving yourself like a boost of dopamine, kind of that like higher level dopamine can be super helpful. So I added this. I typically try to do some sort of journaling or reflection or use my toolbox in some way and check it off my list. That's what we're gonna do. But I added this self-care reflection this week and I've been loving it. So I'm going to come down to my habit stack, self-care check-in. So let's do that. See what it gives us today. Release tension, self-care reminder. Pause and scan your body and take note of any areas of tension. Is there a way that you can soften or stretch to release it? Okay. I feel like my butt hurts. I do think like my shoulders are tense and I actually noticed that when I was walking. I was like, I worked out I lifted, was it yesterday I lifted weights? And I feel a little sore from that. So maybe just like I just cracked my arm. Just a couple stretches here. Oh, that feels good. Oh my gosh. Again, these ones, like this category, sometimes it's like more physical health, sometimes it's more like mental health, emotions, all just kind of like differs, and that's why I really like it. Oh yeah, baby. Wow. I really honestly did not realize how sore I was. It just shows you guys how like disconnected we are to our bodies. Okay, so love that. I'll just write a little note. Was super tense and sore. Keep that with me. Maybe as I cook dinner, I'll try to do a couple more stretches. Maybe I'll do a little bit more on the inside. Cool. So now we are going to reflect on that. As we reflect on it, we check it off our to-do list. That's going to give us a little bit of a dopamine hit. So that's kind of like a double duty one where you can kind of check in with yourself, get yourself going. But now, okay, we've done something. We've gotten the momentum shifting from sitting here eating lunch to now we are going to head back in, get ourselves going for the day. So thank you for keeping me accountable to that. Like I said, I noticed I was kind of just like, oh, this dog, scrolling a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm searching for, my headphones are caught. I told you guys, if you watch my vlogs, you know I'm having like a renaissance with corded headphones. That felt good. Okay, change the direction of our energy. This dude is loving the sunshine. Okay, back to work. Okie dokie, friends. Does anyone else wear gloves when you wash the dishes? We had dinner and I've been loving those easy Korean barbecue bowls. So good. Have made those a couple times now. But we are going to finish up our day of dopamine here. So it is the evening time, and that's when you want to do some more of those like lower dopamine things. So like on my to-do list is going to be to paint by numbers. I'll show you guys what I'm working on now. I feel like I haven't given you a paint by number update in a while. I'll show you after what I'm working on. So I'm gonna spend some time doing that, and then I typically head up to bed at about 9:15. That's when my reminder goes off for my end of day reflection. I kind of use that as a little bit of like a, okay, it's time to go upstairs, Colleen. And then I do my end of day reflection. So I use the template in the app, but you can do this anywhere. You could do it on a napkin. I list, and this is how the template goes, 1 to 3 things that went well for the day, 1 to 3 things that didn't, and then just any notes, kind of like a brain dump for the day. It's super fast, super simple, and then I just kind of say how I felt in each category: food, movement, self-care, with the little smiley faces. And that just really helps me kind of reflect on the day, what felt good, what didn't, what might I be planning for tomorrow. The brain dump part is so helpful, you guys. It actually helps me sleep better. So I do that. There's also a couple other things that are like optional to fill out in different categories, but just moral of the story, reflecting on the day, processing the day, and potentially making some of those connections that maybe you didn't realize. I always say our choices kind of like compound on each other. So it's kind of just a moment to see how everything kind of like comes together and make any changes or just kind of mental notes about anything. So we do that. And then after that, phone goes down and we read. What am I currently reading? The Wedding People. It is really good, you guys. It was such a long wait at the library. I do like ebook borrowing on my Kindle. So I broke down and bought it. I don't usually buy books. I try to just, I mean, they're free at the library. If I have to wait, it's okay. But I bought that one and I really like it. You guys said you really liked it too. So maybe I'll loop back and let you know once I finish it. But then we go to bed. And I've been falling asleep earlier lately. I've just been tired, but that is how we're gonna wrap up more of those low stimulation sort of dopamine things. And let me show you what I'm working on, my paint by numbers. Okay, so this is the one that I am working on right now. This is a really good one for beginners. I think I could have finished this in a weekend if I wanted to. So I ordered this one because I thought I was going to the one I ordered next, which is this one. I thought this wasn't gonna come in time, but it ended up doing it, so this came sooner. So I kind of just ordered that as like a backup, just kind of small filler one. And this is the one that I just finished. Oh, can you see it? Stretch. Little llama. So we're going to probably finish this one and potentially start this one tonight. Do our reflections, get reading, and that's the evening. All right, friends, happy Wednesday morning. We do it all over again today. I hope this video was helpful for you, gave you some ideas to add to your own dopamine menu and kind of how to incorporate those different types of dopamine throughout the day. I did want to say that like as I'm even like navigating today, it's not necessarily a thought of like, oh, what types of dopamine can I add to my day? It's more so like, what's gonna make me feel good right now? How much time do I have and what type of activity do I need to feel good? So even though dopamine is kind of like the mechanism behind it all, it's not necessarily like what comes to mind as I'm kind of like going throughout my day. You just start to realize like, yes, that little bit, like after lunch is a perfect example of that feels good. It kind of propels me in the right direction. It puts my energy in the right direction so I can get back to work. So it's not like a conscious thought process once you start doing it to be like, I need to add a high dopamine hit. It's more of like, I just need a little bit of an energy boost. What's gonna give me that? Allow me to check in with myself. So that's kind of what happens once you start doing that, but I hope it was helpful kind of like understanding the reasoning behind that. And I do think it's important to understand like why those different activities feel different to you and they give us different types of rejuvenation. So thank you for tuning in to another video. Be sure to download that free guide. It's got way more tips in there and resources for you, so I will link that in the description. But thanks for tuning in to another video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video is uploaded. You guys know the drill, but it really, really does help support me. So thank you so much for hanging with me for another day, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you later.